Bernier with HRPA, and this is HR Today. And I'm here right now with Julian Chapman. Julian had two sessions this conference, and one was about persuasion for fun and profit, and the other one was about holding someone to account. So I'm hoping we can chat a bit about both. Let's start with persuasion.
All right. Well, and this was a test this year,
Okay.
and given that in the past we've talked about the notions of accountability, what we were hoping to do this year was to bring a topic that HR professionals need to be able to focus on, and that is, how do I persuade someone to take a new system, a new process, a new idea, anything on board? And so we took them through an 8-step process. But what was different in this is we were focusing on the thinking that's required in order to persuade someone. We tend to talk about how to behave, but it's actually about how do I think through how I'm going to persuade you, and how do I think through how someone on the receiving end is going to receive it. So it's the sender-receiver model. And what we were bringing is the perspective based on 30 years of experience in the field, particularly through the multinational Philips, who did a whole bunch of research, a fellow by the name of Jerry Rhodes, on how to actually create innovation. So persuasion and innovation are interlinked because they're the same thinking problem. In other words, if I come to you with a new idea, a new product, a new process, or I'm trying to implement a new HR system, it immediately runs into a wall. So I need to think about how am I going to overcome that wall, and what is it that's actually going to get you to come from behind that wall and actually come over to my side and see the value in the process, the system, or whatever, my idea. So helping people to understand that it is necessary. And persuasion is linked to what we refer to as the 4-letter word that starts with S, which is selling. And no HR person ever wants to sell. And in fact, the vast majority of people don't want to sell most of the time. So getting people more comfortable with the idea that you have to do this. You have to do this in order to be truly effective. So that was the intent of yesterday's session, was to take HR professionals through a simple thinking process to think through how I'm going to persuade someone. And as I say, that's different from what we normally talk about. So today, this afternoon, was about accountability. And we've talked extensively on accountability. Forrest & Company, our background is in how to create accountability frameworks and accountability systems for organizations that become their management systems. And so today was a bit more tactical on how do I actually have that tough conversation. Now that can be not necessarily a tough conversation, but it's still a tough conversation because I've got to have laid out the framework for accountability. So what we walked through was what we refer to as confidence boosters. So how do I get confident and comfortable with it, which is often a challenge for HR professionals because of a thing that we refer to. It was first identified actually by Freud, later built up by Jerry Harvey around a thing called anaclesis, which is we as human beings lean on things. So anaclesis is the need to lean. And so we lean on our ideas and we lean on our relationships with others. And so for managers, holding someone to account, applying positive and negative consequences is very difficult because I might damage the relationship with you. If you're that really hardworking person that I've had who's been working really well for me, but things aren't going right, how do I have the conversation without feeling like I'm damaging the relationship? So that was the essence of it. And all the way back to the persuasion piece, the issue of persuasion is that we lean on our old way of doing things. We lean on our old ideas, and so we naturally build up a resentment or a way of holding back actually accepting the new things. So it's not that we don't want to change, it's that we're uncomfortable. We need to actually be helped to overcome that. So that's the common theme in the two sessions, was how do we help people to overcome anaclesis? And it's through understanding, as a manager, what am I accountable for? Making sure that I ensure that my employees understand what they're accountable for so that they can use their judgment and discretion, and they can feel then responsible for the work. But if I'm only relying on their sense of responsibility, their obligation, then they're not necessarily going to get there, and anaclesis will overcome them. So that's the gist of the two sessions sort of rolled into one.
That's great. Excellent topic choices this year. I'm sure they were wonderful sessions.
Thanks to HRPA for having selected them.
Thanks for kind of highlighting the high points for us. We appreciate it.
All right. Well, thanks, Liz.
Thank you. I'm Liz Bernier. This is HR Today. Thanks for watching.